Hello, welcome back to, or welcome for the first time to Talking Bollocks with me, your host, Howard H. Smith, formerly singer of Acid Rain, UK thrash band. Who? Yeah, I think they put some stuff out a few years ago. And I also do stand-up now as my character, Keith Platt, professional Yorkshireman. You can find me on Twitter at Keith Platt, and you can find me on Facebook at Keith Platt. And, that's enough of me being a big-headed twat. Let's get on with the podcast. So, hello, bollockers, or, podcasters, or people who listen to podcasts that have bollocks in the name. I don't know. I'm just jiving here. So anyway, hello, welcome back, or welcome for the first time. If this is your first time, wow, lucky you. You've got 2 podcasts you can go back and download. And I don't mind saying so. I think this might be the best one so far, folks. Coming up, as you'll have probably already read in the little script that comes with your podcast. But if you haven't, this will be a nice surprise in your ears. Today, we've got the much trailered interview with Death Angel. It's me having a chat. I don't know what a chat is. We'll move on. It's me having a chat with Rob Cavestany of Death Angel, which was great fun. Thoroughly nice guy. Last time I saw him was when we played with Death Angel all those years ago. And it was very cool. It was cool. He even remembered who Acid Rain were. How amazing is that? Even more amazing was walking into Death Angel's dressing room, and Marcos Aguado just looked straight at me and went, "Jesus, dude, how are you? It's been years." And I just assumed he'd got me confused with someone else, but no, it was amazing. We had a really good chat, and unfortunately, the chat that I had with Ken of Death Angel and Marcos Aguado of Death Angel, I was unable to export from my phone because the app that I was using on my phone is made by cunts. There we go. There's the first cunt of the podcast. Let's get out now early doors. Basically, this bunch of twats sold this podcast, this audio app that helps record. But to get files of a certain size off your phone, you basically have to install some software, and I did all that, and then their support part of the app, where you get support and you ask questions and troubleshooting, all that, would appear to have been run by cunts, monkey cunts, in fact, people who are not just not capable of anything other than making things worse as opposed to better. So those bastards are to blame for those two interviews going to the wall, I'm afraid. They have since been deleted. But the one with Rob was cool. Like I said, he's a very nice guy, and I've mentioned this on a couple of other on podcasts before, but Death Angel were awesome that night, and strongly advise anybody out there who hasn't already heard and bought. Yes, I said bought. Some of you listening might actually buy music occasionally. Do it. It's a good idea. Some of you may have bought The Dream Calls for Blood, which is just proper old school. I think it's the best thing they've done since Act 3. Just my opinion, but my podcast, so that's pretty much what you're going to get. This is not a fucking democracy. I'm not going to start bouncing out other people's opinions. Why the fuck would I? This is why I do this. Just to be able to sit here and gob off into your ears for all this time. So anyway, that's the first interview that we're going to be hearing. It's not a particularly long one. It's about 12 minutes. It cuts off really quickly because Rob and I had an agreement, which was, Rob said, "I'll do this interview under one condition," and basically he needed to start warming up an hour before the show. So we basically got a signal when it was an hour before the show, and it was like, right, okay, that's it. So that's why it kind of finishes quite quickly. And then coming up, we've got an interview with the legend himself, Bobby Blitz Ellsworth. I have to credit Chris Davies, the legend that is Chris Davies, for helping me sort this out. He runs the Overkill Twitter account, and he put us both in touch. And I reached out to Bobby, okay. Reached out. I sent an email. And Bobby very kindly replied, put me in touch with publicist, and we had a really nice chat. It goes on for nearly an hour. At the end, his manager comes in, and you'll hear a bit of a conversation that carries on there and everything else. And as I've said live in interviews before, and as I say on that one as well, there's no edits, there's no cuts. What you hear is what happened, and that's something that I'm going to stick to. All of the interviews you've heard so far on previous podcasts are unedited. It's not because I'm shit at editing, okay? I know there's yeah, fuck you. I know there's some of you out there listening going, yeah, whatever. Learn to edit, spaz. No, that's not it. It is just that I just think that what you hear is what you get. And it's cool, so you get to hear Bobby's manager and a little bit of banter going on there. I feel that how this podcast should be and how the interviews should be, they should feel like you're eavesdropping on a conversation that people aren't aware that you're listening to. And that's kind of how I want you guys to feel. So if you do, great. If you don't, I hope you're getting something different out of it. And if you're not getting anything out of it, fuck off. Yeah, don't listen anymore, and don't download anymore. Yeah, what's your fucking problem? Anyway, got more cool interviews lined up for April. 2 are already in the can, and one of them is head and shoulders the best interview I've done so far. It's calling him interviews, conversation, chat, as I like to refer it to. I don't want to say too much at the moment, but it's just there's at least a couple of exclusives in there, but by the time April comes round, they may not be exclusives, and they may have come out with in magazines or stuff like that. But just really, really, really cool. So we've got interviews coming up in future months. April, I think, is going to be wholly possibly Chad Gray, he of Mudvayne and Hell Yeah. That's the interview I'm talking about. It's really cool. Chad is just one serious dude, incredible guy. Publicist told us we had half an hour, and the publicist came over half an hour, and I said, you're going to have to finish now. And Chad just goes, oh, go away, man. I'm really enjoying this. It's really cool. So we just carried on. So that's really cool. And Soil Work, which was an interview I did this month, which will be on. I'll try and squeeze on next month as well. Was fantastic, great guys. But anyway, that's enough trailering of everything that's going to be happening. I guess we got some catching up to do. And the first thing is to announce the winner. Yes, that's right, the winner of the amazing Slipknot book competition. I'm not going to lie, not a shitload of entries for this one. And so, it would appear that you guys are just interested in just having a decent podcast and listening to some decent interviews, as opposed to prizes and stuff like that, which was initially a little bit of a concern from my friends at All About the Rock. But as I pointed out, maybe that's because we've just got such a fucking cool listenership already that it's not just a bunch of dicks who want to win free shit. And I'm not saying that you people who've entered the competition are dicks. Far from it, and thank you for entering. But, I just think that you people out there just seem to be pretty darn cool and, not obsessed with winning free stuff, which most fucking things are at the moment. So thank you very much for that. It's very cool. But by the same token, thank you very much to everyone who entered. And the winner is, of the Slipknot book, the winner is, I fucking keep clicking that one and it's not him. Sorry. Right, here we go. This is from... the winner is John. I won't read out your email address, John, but suffice to say, for a while there, I thought you called info, for fuck's sake. Info is the winner. John, or info as I'm going to call you from now on, will be replying to your email, and his response was... I'm listening to your podcast whilst looking after my 7-month-old baby. I'm not a fan of kids, I'm not a dad, and I'm not going to be. So at that point I was like, oh, fucking hell, here we go. Desperately hoping that all the effing and swearing will have no long-term effect. I think I'm right in saying kids don't remember anything till they're about 3, right? So fuck it. Now that I like. Yeah, just somebody who is not completely obsessed with making sure their 7-month-old child doesn't hear swear words. We all know those people. You go around the house, first had a child, and you swear in front of a fucking 7-month-old, and they're like, oh, not in front of the kids. Oh, for fuck's sake, fuck off. It's no better than a fucking dog right now. It's not going to fucking understand any of it anyway, for fuck's sake. So anyway, yeah, you're right there, John. Nice one. You win. And an honourable mention to Anthony H as well, because I did say send in your genuine where I'm listening to the podcast from. Don't send in things like, oh, whilst I'm banging my girlfriend, because I'll, and of course Anthony H, he just emails in and said, I'm listening whilst I'm banging my girlfriend. Such fun. So fair enough. Thank you, Anthony. It did give me a chuckle, but it didn't get you the book, I'm afraid. But never mind. So. Thanks for all your correspondence, everybody. It is cool to hear from you. Please, as I say, it's Howard at allabouttherock.co.uk. Howard at allabouttherock.co.uk. Get in touch. Send me emails, abuse, whatever you like. People you want me to interview, albums you think I should be listening to, anything. Just send it in. I'm here. Abuse me, use me, do what you like. And please visit the All About the Rock website, because these guys, this might be my podcast, but it's on their website. They are very, very cool people. It's a very cool website, allabouttherock.co.uk. Visit on a regular basis. It's cool. And you can listen to this podcast live on that site. You can stream it. You can download it, or alternatively, obviously, you can get it on your podcast apps. And remember what I've been saying. If any of you have got friends who are into metal, next time you see them and they've got a tablet with them, or I fucking hate that. Don't you just want to put it over your knee and snap it? But anyway, just iPads. Fuck it. People recording with iPads just look like dicks. Look like they're holding up a tray. But anyway, get their iPad off them or whatever. Ask them if they've got a podcast app. If they say yes, just search Talking Bollocks or All About the Rock. Find the podcast, subscribe them, and hand it back to them. That's it. That's all I want you to do. Just a way of spreading the news, a nice guerrilla tactic of how to get more and more listeners. And the more listeners we get, the more interviews we get. Have been turned down for a few interviews because we haven't got enough subscribers. So if you want the show to get better, you have to spread the word, and that way, we're all going to get better. We're all going to get well, as I believe the phrase is. So, I just want to say a name check for a comedy gig that I did this month, which was very cool. It's a pub in Swindon called the Vic, or the Victoria. It's just the coolest pub ever. It's totally rock, but not in a sort of full of 16-year-olds chucking up cider everywhere. I mean, as in, it's just a quality rock pub. But also, they've got an amazing live venue out back. Every Monday is a free comedy night. It's been going for 8 years, and it is superb. I mean, when I was on there, Tim Clark was headlining. Tim Clark's a fucking legend. So, if you're in Swindon, if you're in the area, or about the area, check out the Vic Top Pub. So that's a pub to check out. The album that I'm going to recommend that you all check out is fucking phenomenal, and you might have already heard about this, but believe you me, it's worth checking out. It's an album by a band called Destrage. That's Destrage. They are Italian. They are fucking nuts. It's their third album. It's on Metal Blade, and it is fucking awesome. It's the best thing I've heard this year. It's quality from start to finish, and it is called Are You Kidding Me? No. That's the title. Are You Kidding Me? No. So it's Are You Kidding Me? ? No, full stop. So it's just incredible. There's a sticker on the album that very lazily says they're like the European System of a Down. They're not. They're more metal than System of a Down for a start. But they are, without doubt, the reason the Sode reference is in there is because they are pretty nuts. They do mess with rhythms. It's not a typical linear song structures there. But believe you me, the incredible guitar work on it, incredible drum work on it, great vocals, and just some awesome grooves, and then you'll just suddenly hear a massive, totally fucking awesome rock metal chorus come out of nowhere, which is just immense. Strongly advise you give it a listen. Stick it into YouTube, have a listen. Don't take my word for it. Check them out yourself. But it's very good, very, very good. Destrage. Are you kidding me? No. So, what else? Went to see Overkill, Soilwork, and Zentrix, and obviously that's where I got to interview Soilwork and Overkill and say hi to the boys in Zentrix, and hello again if you're listening, guys, who were first on and fucking awesome. I mean, very, very tight. I was actually messaging Andy Sneap on Facebook today, who, interestingly enough, folks, was at Heathrow Airport about to leave to fly out to San Francisco to start the Exodus album. So there you go. I wonder if I was supposed to tell anyone. Anyway, fuck it, who cares? You're in. And he was saying that he'd seen them in Manchester, and he was saying it was like the tightest unit he'd seen for a while, and he was really impressed. And I have to say exactly the same. New song sounded awesome. The reaction from the crowd was awesome, and they kicked ass, and it was great to see them. Soilwork, well, boy, did they have their work cut out. It just wasn't their crowd. I mean, I personally thought they were brilliant. As you guys may or may not know, their last album was in my top 5 of 2013. It's a double album that isn't shit. It's amazing. It's like you listen to it and you go, wow, that's a double album that needed to be a double album. That's impressive. And they were impressive as ever live, but it just wasn't their crowd. Opening for Overkill just wasn't their crowd, but they hung in there, did an awesome job, and especially the frontman, who's really annoying me because I can't remember his name, and I've been bullshitting thinking it'd come back to me, but it won't. He was just superb. He really, really was, and just great crowd banter and won them over in the end. But it was a hard night's work for them. But it was really, really professional and a performance. So it was really impressive, really impressive. And of course, Overkill were Overkill, and they killed over and over again. What more can I say? You'll hear in the interview later that about Bobby's place in thrash, and he's definitely massively up there. It's definitely in the top 3 thrash metal frontmen ever. Obviously, yeah, I'm number 1. That goes without saying. Well, duh. Yeah, that is sarcasm, you stupid fuckers. If there's any out there, I'm not everybody. I'm referring to the stupid fuckers who thought that was me being serious. That was sarcasm. So what else has been going on? Met Mark Palmer, who now runs Nuclear Blast out of London and ran Roadrunner and was part of the Cull when Roadrunner sorted all their bullshit out. Met Mark for the first time. Mark, who turned Acid Rain down when he worked at Music for Nations. And to be fair, good call, because it was a fucking shit demo, the first demo. And we had a little bit of a chat. We're actually friends on Facebook, but never met before, so it was cool to see him. Really nice guy. And that was a really cool night in general. I've got a little list of things here I wanted to talk to you guys about, and that's pretty much it, apart from one final thing. And the Lords of Summer. Some of you out there will know what I'm talking about, and some of you won't. So, The Lords of Summer is the new Metallica song that was debuted live in Chile. Now, I'm a Metallica fan, and always have been, and always will be. Even through the load, reload, fucking dogshit St. Anger days, I was there, right? And I really, I liked Death Magnetic, and a return to form, which isn't saying much, bearing in mind the previous album was St. Anger, but you know what I'm saying. I enjoyed it. I thought there were some good songs on there, and it was back to Metallica being Metallica. But the new song is just fucking. Lars Ulrich sounds like he's just falling down the fucking stairs with his kit. I mean, go back to Master of Puppets, go back to and Justice for All. You can hear right there some fucking awesome drumming. I mean, the guy was, he was at the fort. Well, they are the thrash band. The drumming on those two albums is phenomenal, and Ride the Lightning and Kill 'Em All. But it starts getting fucking boring and lazy on the Black Album, and it's never got better. It's never improved. But his work on that new song is awful. It sounds. I mean, there's a. Sorry. Oh, see what I go through for you guys. Hang on a sec, I'll just grab a drink. So there you go, no edits. You see, I could edit that out. It's a piece of piss. I could edit that out, but why? It's the sense of really. I know you don't tune in to listen to me cough and have a drink, but fuck it. It is what it is. Everything's produced to it within an inch of its life these days, anyway, isn't it? So, fuck it. Well, let's keep something raw. Why not? So anyway, back to Ulrich's monstrosity drumming on the new Metallica song. Yeah, it's awful. It sounds like there's a really good Hetfield riff there and all of it, but it just sounds like someone's dad drumming on it. It sounds like oh, this will sound alright, won't it? No, it sounds fucking horrible. Yeah, I mean, it's not great, and I'm really not being a hater for the sake of it, because I love them. They're my boys. That's as I'm sure they are for a lot of you guys out there. They're the band that got me into thrash. But that drumming particularly is just fucking shit. And he's just never going to get better, is he? So there you go. Joey Jordenson's not employed as far as I'm aware at the moment. Hey, God, can you imagine that? Joey Jordanson, ex-Slipknot drummer, on the new Metallica album would be fucking amazing. But anyway, that's not going to happen. So, it's been a long time coming, but I think it's about time we had a listen to my interview or my chat with Rob from Death Angel.
We played together twice in '88 and '89. I was in a band called Acid Rain.
Yeah, dude.
And we supported you at the Astoria and also
Clarendon?
the Clarendon. Yeah.
The first time we played out here.
That's right. Yeah.
With fucking Chelsea.
Yes, Chelsea.
You were on that gig?
Actually, no. I think it was us. It might have been your second time.
Okay,
you played Clarendon
first
twice,
time we
didn't
played
you?
with Chelsea.
Then you played with us and Sabbath.
Yeah.
Andy Sneap and his boys.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
It's
Good
quite
to
a
see
few
you
years
again.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you never wrote.
What? I know. I'm sorry.
I know. How did we fall out? Amazing new album. Absolutely fantastic.
Thanks.
It's just, I don't know where that came from. I don't know how you summoned that up.
Wasn't a pretty thing.
I think it's your best work since Act 3.
Thank you very
without
much.
a doubt. It's the sound of. It's a sound of a group of individuals acting as one. It's like the sound of one organism, everything coming together.
It is.
And just,
I like that one.
everybody just nailing it.
I like that description right there. I'll agree with that. That's what's going on, though.
Yeah, I mean, and all these, I'm totally just because people will be apt to forget that you plowed on with the organisation, and you've been in this for the long haul.
Very.
Yeah.
Fucking intense. It feels good to get this reaction from our new album, though. It's been received really well so far. It fucking feels great.
But it's and deserved. Well, and also, my band's old site is, we've got a Facebook page. There's lots of draws lots of old school thrashers.
Fuck yeah.
We recently had a poll for the best thrash album in the last 10 years, and I think 5th or 6th was Relentless Retribution.
Right? Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, and I think
In the last 10 years?
Yes.
Oh boy, that's fucking.
Yeah, I know, and I mean, we, like any Facebook page, there's people from all over the world in there throwing in their their opinions and everything else. And
fucking great.
Yeah, I mean it's just absolutely superb, deserved as well. I mean it's just
thank you.
It's a hell of a standard that you've achieved. But going into that, when you came back, you had that whole wave of They're Back, Love, and you go around the world playing your old stuff, and then there reaches a point where you think, right, okay, how long can this last?
Yeah, that lasted for its little bit of time.
Yeah, and then did you feel that there was there a demand out there for new material, or was the demand within yourselves to go, look, we need to do this, we need to...
At the very beginning, after we first reformed, we were just doing shows before we even recorded The Art of Dying, before we even signed to Nuclear Blast. No, I'll have to honestly say we weren't feeling the need to do that. We weren't even planning like the next week. We just thought we were gonna do one show and just that was gonna be it. It was just a benefit show for Chuck Billy and stuff. Yeah. That was the only reason we got together for. Like seriously, that was just it. And every show that happened after that was just people by the demand. Basically fans, and fucking we craved that killer fucking show, and the fan, the interaction with the, like that was the draw. Like, okay, we could do another show. There's an offer for this other show, and that was so fun. Like, let's just do one more show. All right, we did that. Fuck, it was killer. Then like offer for a tour. All right, we can do the whole fucking tour now. And it just went on and went on and went on. So finally, Nuclear Blast they were basically coming around getting us to think about like writing an album and like keep on going with it. We're like, oh no, that's not what we're trying to do here. And then with them insisting, and then sure enough, as we were on tour, naturally like here and there, all of a sudden like I had a riff or something like at sound check or whatever, right? So it was like there are a couple ideas that are like odd, like we're just like we weren't saying anything, but there were like we jam on a riff or something. And it's like, but no one wanted to even go there about committing and all that. Yeah. And so once that all just kind of formulated by, we were like, fuck, all right, let's do it. So we weren't really planning it. We just like, well, let's fucking check it out. That's why the first album to me, The Art of Dying, it has this feeling. I mean, the kind of album that when I look back and listen to that album, it sounds like that to me. Like we were excited to get back together, but we definitely weren't like totally focused and coherent in one
organism.
Like how you say this one is. Yes, exactly. The progression from that first album up to what happened here was just that, a progression over 12 years or something.
Well, because I was like, because it's like, 12 years of your second career.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, because it's like, and I was saying to the other guys, it is like Death Angel Mark II, but not in a bad way. It's more like 2.0. Do you know what I mean? As in,
I think so.
I always think the first Death Angel is like the first 3 albums.
You're right.
And then there's your years with the organisation and keeping the flag flying. And then there's the reformation, and then touring, doing the old stuff. Then the new career starts.
Yeah.
And it's like
definitely the starting from Relentless Retribution and moving forward is where we went into turbo gear. Like we went into the fucking 5th gear now. Yeah. And we've been non-stop now ever since we recorded Relentless Retribution. So since from 2009 basically 2010 we've just been like non-stop 3 years going into 4 years. So that alone, I mean, compresses like what you might do in many more years because there's no break in between. We just kept going and going and going and going. So it's just like mounting into this, really peak level for us.
Well, and the thing is, that comes out the fucking speakers. That comes out. Those years have been well spent. It's not. You really can hear it. I was talking to Ted earlier, and he was saying about you play songs in sound check that you were working on that were going to end up on the Dream Calls for Blood, and there there is that kind of intensity that from a live show. And not just in the sound, but in the actual songwriting. These tunes sound like something that you're kind of you're playing whilst you're on the road, not because you're bored with the set, but it's way more interesting to play new stuff in the sound check.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's like, you know,
We love playing our new stuff.
and let's face it, you know, but it's also when you're sound checking, it's like the best practice room in the world, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
You've got a whole PA,
Exactly.
you know, a whole empty venue,
Oh, yeah.
and you can really check out how it sounds.
And we had no choice because we weren't ever home enough, so we'd have to do it at sound check. Like we'd get home for 5 days and go back out on tour. So we're not gonna go and set up in the studio and start working on stuff in the three days that we're home in between months of being on the road. So we just do it on the road.
Yeah.
That's what ended up contributing to the feel of this album.
Yeah.
It's kind of what happened,
And is it a lesson you learned between, like, you built with Relentless Retribution? You think, look, guys, we need to keep going, because if we take 6 months off to write a record and record, it's like starting from zero again. And
Pretty much so, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we knew we had to take that energy into the studio to do the album. It was obvious that was going to be very key in how the album was going to sound, and it is. The fact that we didn't take any kind of a break, which we needed, believe me, and we still do, because we didn't break. We just kept going, but there's a method to the madness, and that was that I just knew that the intensity we have from being on the road together, if we could get that on the actual recordings by keeping the recording date as close to the end of the tour as possible, you wouldn't have enough time to come down from the high of touring. It was only a few days at home for anybody, and off they were to Florida to record.
And that takes that touring intensity and live vibe, and it just takes it straight into the studio, doesn't
Straight
it?
onto the recording itself. In the performances, when you're in the studio and recording an album, like, you can totally get that sterile trip after a while, because you're not in front of a crowd and you haven't been on tour for months or whatever. You've been relaxing.
6 months in a box writing these riffs, and
exactly.
I want to get this riff absolutely fucking perfect.
Right, so it starts things just go. You can't help it.
The life just goes out.
It's the nature of it, though, right?
Yeah.
It's just what's gonna happen. So even though we were like tired from being on tour, but we were just so accustomed to the daily attack of being on tour that it's not. When we're on the road, we do many shows with no days off, many shows in a row. So yeah, we brought that energy in the studio.
Yeah,
it was fucking killer to capture that on tape, so to speak.
It's kind of like it's an adrenaline. It's that, like you said, it's that.
All right.
Right. Look,
thank you.
It's been really cool.
Thanks, man.
Lovely. I'm really looking forward to it tonight, man.
Mark,
I really am.
we
We had a chat, man.
So there you have it. There was my interview with Rob, which is cool. It was nice listening back to that, actually, and you can obviously hear some serious bass action in the background there. As the bass dude warming up, and it was all sort of kicking off around us, and so it's a little chaotic at times, and obviously hopefully going to improve. Well, it should be better quality from now on. I mean, I'll still be a dick, obviously, but hopefully the actual recording quality will improve, if nothing else. So hope you enjoyed that, and as I said, they were awesome that night, and the new album's awesome as well. So go and get that. I'm not going to keep you too long, because I'm aware that I did rabbit on right at the top. So and we've got a fair amount of stuff to get through. So a fair amount of stuff to get through. That's really disrespectful, actually. I'm not going to get through stuff. I'm going to get through an interview with a thrash legend, the one, the only, Bobby Blitz Ellsworth. So here I am. I'm in the bowels of the Islington Academy with the one and only Bobby Blitz Ellsworth. Lovely to meet you, Bobby.
This is where turds hang out in the bowels. Bobby Blitz from over here. Good to see you, Howard.
Yeah, good to see you as well, mate. I mean, Chris obviously hooked us up on email, and thank you very much for sorting all this out.
Yeah, great.
And you kind of like, I don't know, you're an iconic figure in thrash. I mean, you've been around a long time, but Overkill, unlike probably Overkill and Exodus, I would say, probably the two bands who kind of just really sort of stuck to their guns. Obviously, there's Slayer as well, but you know, your sound hasn't really kind of changed that much over the years. You kind of, you know, you're still relevant. You're still producing products at an amazing rate. How the hell do you still find that that enthusiasm?
Well, you know, when I was young, I remember my mother asking me what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I said I really want to be a thrash icon. I had to throw that in there. Howard does stand up, so
this is gonna be a tough interview.
I got a reaction. So, in any case, with regard to this, I think that probably the thing that I value the most is being relevant. I don't think about the other stuff. I think that the reason to continue doing what we do, me being part of what we do, is that we can release music that has value in the current day. And that becomes the motivation. You know, I can't really speak for Exodus, but I do agree with you that, what they do carries weight in 2012, 13, 14. You know, it's not what it was, it's what it is. And I think that that's really the most important factor, indicator of why I continue. And really the greatest compliment that you can possibly receive is that, let's talk about what you were is really kind of boring in my, and then it makes no sense being a thrash icon. But I do feel that we have something to offer. And, where does that come from? I don't know. There's obviously a deep love of it. I mean, you were in a thrash band, so you still are to some degree, so you know that, once you get bitten by the bug, there's no greater high, and you chase that high on a continuous basis. It's like, they always say that, with the dope dealers, the first one's free because I know you'll be back. And that's kind of the same way it is with this stuff, It was like, you did it when it was free, and that was more important than anything that followed it, was the fact that it got you that high. And I think that being relevant, doing it for the amount of time that I have, probably the most unique thing I can say is that I still get high. So, I'm still looking for that bite that'll bring me as high as the first one did. So I think that that's one of the reasons. And it's, I think it's a great testimony to the purity of this music that it can be relevant after the, let's say, 30-year period.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I saw you guys, first time I saw you guys was supporting Halloween at Manchester Apollo. Would that have been your first ever UK show?
Yep.
I think it was. Yeah. I think I remember.
No. We were here. We were Christmas on Speed, Leeds with Megadeth.
Christmas on Earth.
Christmas on Earth.
Yes, I was there as well. Yeah.
Megadeth, I think Voivod. No, Voivod never made it.
They got stuck in Belgium in customs. And Nuclear Assault changed the lyrics to, and instead from Stranded in Hell to Stranded in Belgium. And we were in tears laughing at that, man. That was awesome.
The Creator was on that bill, huh?
Yeah, was it Lars Rocket? Were they on
Rocket,
as well?
Yeah, really. I think that was our first UK show. Yeah, it was Leeds, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that they pulled that place down not long afterwards.
But the Apollo show is probably second then.
Yeah. No, well, there you go. So your first two shows.
Yeah.
And that was, I mean, because taking over major label, that was kind of like, was that your crack at the big time? It seemed at the time that you had a fair amount of label support, or
the quick background to that is that Megaforce Records, who we were really signed to, Atlantic being the distributor of taking over, had discovered Metallica, and that's what got Megaforce notoriety, got them the notoriety. So Atlantic started distributing the Megaforce product, Us, and Testament, etc. So sure, I mean, I suppose it was a crack at the big time, but I don't know if I knew what the big time was. I mean, was there even a big time then? It's so relative. Yeah. Metallica was now on their, I guess they would be doing their third record at that point. It was just around Injustice, or maybe still they were on Ride the Lightning. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think it was probably just around sort of Master of Puppets time, things like that.
Oh, was it? Yeah. Okay. All right.
I mean, it is strange looking back. I mean, we toured a lot with Nuclear Assault, Exodus, and Dark Angel more than anything. Those three guys, and there was very much a sense that we were all kind of hanging on to Metallica's coattails. I mean, they'd kind of opened the door,
and raise the bar.
Yeah, and made that kind of music credible. Because I remember when Metallica came out, and I played it to like my metalhead friends who were more traditional, and they'd be like, "No, I don't like that. No, that's what's not to like?
Yeah.
It's like what you like already, just a bit faster. That's all. You like Motorhead? How can you not like this? And I remember having like fierce debates and stuff with like kind of more sort of older traditional metalheads. And then, of course, 20 years later, you wake up one morning and find out that that's you now.
Yeah.
You're behind the times.
Yeah, but you don't see the evolution into it. You just wake up and it's like,
yeah,
you're that person. Yeah.
That's it. Something happens. Someone says something, and you go, "Oh shit, no, I'm that guy." We're in that room now.
I'll tell you. I tell my wife this all the time. I said, when I wake up in the morning and I'm brushing my teeth or I'm shaving and I have my glasses off, I look at myself in the mirror and I go, "You haven't changed one bit, you handsome devil." And as soon as I put my glasses on, I go, "Ah, who's that old man in the mirror?"
Oh man, it comes to us all, but it's better than the alternative. Every day above ground.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, you know better than most. I mean, that must seem like a long time ago when you had the stroke. I mean, that's
it's over 10 years now. Yeah, it's over 10 years. But I mean, I guess there were my days where I boxed with God, or whatever it may be. I had, not the luck of the draw, but I suppose in retrospect it was actually pretty lucky. It was not the alternative. So So I mean, I ran through a cancer scare back in the late '90s.
Oh God, yeah.
They took off my face, and I had sinus cancer, and they were afraid it leaked into my brain, and and it was one of those things. And I remember the best medicine was calling Dee Dee Verney and saying, "Hey man, you got anything that's unfinished down there?" I got a song I'm working on, and so was born a song called Necroshine. I remember sitting there with bandages all over my face, writing Necroshine on my cassette 4-track. I mean, so it was. I suppose music was always a cure for me, and if it is the alternative to the alternatives, add something to it, and for me it's been Overkill. It's kept the fires burning and the smile on my face.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, and obviously you've broken away from the studio to do these UK dates.
Yeah.
For which the UK says thank you. I am the UK's representative. Okay, I am thanking you.
You're welcome, all of you.
Yeah. The heavy metal thrash community, they're just outside, but they sent me in.
All 7 of them.
They sent me in to say thank you. Well, no, it's great because we've got one up on the rest of Europe. It's like, yeah, they're coming over here, and then they're going back.
And then we're going to finish the record.
Yeah.
This was some new opportunities in this part of the tour. There was actually a full tour booked, and we said, the record's not going to be done. The record should be done, but there was new opportunities. That being Hammerfest, that being first show in Dublin, Edinburgh, Glasgow. So these were some new opportunities. We said, something. Let's keep that UK end. Let's get over there and do that because these are places we haven't been. So let's not forego the opportunity. And I think that. Overkill's always been an opportunity-based band. We're guys from, the East Coast, Northeast of the United States, and there's something that, I don't know, your parents instill in you and their parents instilled in them, and that's the part of the country. Believe me, I'm not saying the other is the opposite of what I'm about to say, but opportunity was born there. And you grow up learning to snatch things.
Yeah.
So in this show itself, we snatched it, and we said, we'll forego the rest of the tour to finish the record, but we'll go over there and do the UK stuff. So.
Oh, that's really cool. I mean, I spoke with Chad Graham a couple of weeks ago from Mudvayne and Hell Yeah, and he was saying something slightly similar. He was saying that we've got in the habit of playing a few dates here and there, and it's like. With this record, we want to do proper tours. We want to tour a country, and we don't just want to come to the UK and play a London show or or just 2 shows. It's like we want to do the whole thing. We want to cover everywhere, and I it's interesting you say those are kind of new opportunities for you because I would have thought. So are you saying so it's a chance to play Glasgow for the first time?
First time, yeah.
Wow.
Edinburgh, first time. Dublin, first time. Yeah.
Really?
First time in Wales, yeah. I mean, it's it's not the normal touring beat for us. We were never the band. I think we were always accepted more so on the mainland than we were on the islands. For instance, when I came to Europe, Britain has come back for us. We're doing regular stops, but it's usually a London show. But now this again is a new opportunity, and I think to forego that opportunity doesn't mean that it shows itself again. And I think that's part of our principle, whether it be business principle or whether it be values we have as people. It's like grab that opportunity, because it doesn't mean that you get it twice. So
yeah, and just because you've been offered something once, and the thing is as well, is we all know what it's like. You're offered an opportunity, you turn it down, you never get offered that opportunity again.
Good point.
You've only got to say no once.
Good point.
And it doesn't come back. Well, like I said, it's a pleasure to have you here. I know I'm pretty much maybe not going to get an exclusive out of you as to what the album's called yet, because I know you're waiting on that 1,000th tweet is just hanging on there. Have you got a title?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, great. Okay.
Maybe it's when it's done is really the way I look at it. So.
Yeah.
Do I think it's going to be done? I think all indicators point it's going to be done. I am 99% sure that this record will be released. But to some degree, again, maybe just a business principle, I just don't ever release anything until, I know for sure.
Yeah.
Though I have told the light man he'll tell everybody. He's one of those guys. He's one of those Facebook guys.
Oh,
it's just like everything that goes through his head, the rest of the world knows about. So
well, I'm quite clearly interviewing the wrong fucking guy. I'm interviewing the lighting. I'm interviewing the lighting guy. Definitely. What's his name? What does he look like?
Skinny guy, short.
Right, great. That narrows it down. I'll be walking up to punters outside. Do you do lights for Overkill? No,
I'd like to.
Yeah. I can. Yeah. No, that's good, and I like that, and that's old school, and and that is a compliment, because back in the day when when you made a statement, you said, right, this is the new album, it's finished, these are the songs, this is the artwork, and this is when it's coming out, as opposed to like you said about Facebook, about like every single little we just finished the chorus of this song, and then we that's fine if you want to release everything incrementally and bit by bit, as some people do, and
as soon as it's done, all that information will be it'll be relevant and accessible. It's just, I'm just not a big fan of all that stuff. It's like the whole thing. As soon as you post something, you can regret it. It becomes. And I think many people live in the age of regret. I mean, it's got to be a great thing for people that don't have social ability to be able to connect that way, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that it actually gives them that social ability. But I think there's got to be a lot of people living in regret with the things that they posted out there, whether it be business or whether it be personal. So. And
you can't take it back once it's out there. It's out there. And even if you do try and take it back, some fucker's done a screenshot of it.
Some prints. Yeah.
Yeah. It's out there. It's funny. A comedian I know, he's got this great piece about Facebook, and he said, do you think if the government tried to introduce a policy whereby you had to constantly report in where you were, what you were doing, who you were with, in fact, not only what you're eating, but they want to see a picture of it as well? Do you think that is a bill that would ever be made law, or do you think there would be revolution? There'd be revolution, but instead we fucking do it voluntary. It's voluntary. It's like the government doesn't need to follow you everywhere anymore. It just has to have a Facebook account.
You know what I did as an alternative is I started my own. It was called Sit on My Facebook, and it's.
Oh, is that something your manager was talking about earlier?
You only need one good friend.
I can well imagine. You should do that. You should definitely do that.
Obviously, I have my Facebook friend. She's at home waiting for me.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Do you use Facebook at all?
I don't. The band does have somebody to do it though, and I give him kind of reports like I give Chris, become a source of information for the Twitter account that Chris does, or Don Jalbert, who does our Facebook, who runs other Facebooks. Out goes an email, or out goes a text with in the studio, getting some vocals ready, title forthcoming, something like so.
Ah, so it's called Forthcoming. Brilliant. Okay, there you go, people.
30th coming.
Awesome. Yeah, but you've got to do that, haven't you? You've got to be out in that marketplace because there's, people expect it to a certain extent. It's,
from a personal level, I don't have to be involved in it. That I can, there's something that maybe it's where I come from or the era or maybe the area that I relish a certain privacy too. That it's,
Oh, the concept of privacy. I mean, my generation, maybe your generation, you grew up miming in the mirror, pretending to be your heroes.
That's right.
Now, you record it and put it on YouTube.
You can.
It's like, no, you that should be done in the privacy of your own home.
Let me tell you something. It's unusual to be interviewing a guy who can keep his fucking mouth shut. Well, that's New Jersey in me too, I mean.
Well, you think a lot of people involved on this side are still kind of like full of ego, and they want to hear, they want to get their points across and have you agree with them.
I suppose, to some degree. I mean, I just, when it comes to, the social end of things, I just like being private. I got friends, you know what I mean? I got friends.
Yeah.
And I'm very social when I'm out here. I mean, we're out on the road. This is like the middle-aged boys club out here. We're going to be rolling dice in the next couple of days. There's going to be a couple of bottles of booze on the bus, and somebody's going to get drunk and throw up, and it'll all be fun. There'll be some laughs, and we'll go home. We'll finish the record, and we'll get serious again,
Yeah.
So I have my social end of things, and I have the people I like to hang out with, and I don't know, it has nothing to do with Overkill, but just my personal life. People don't need to know when I'm eating or what what are my likes and my dislikes. It's I play music and I got a nice family.
Yeah, and the thing is as well is that this side of your life is very public as well.
Huh.
So it's nice to have that divide and say, look, the public gets this of me.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we talked about health issues before, and I don't think I ever would have let anyone know either of them, except that one happened on stage and the other one canceled the tour. If it happened during the downtime, I would have kept my mouth shut about it. I mean, why would I want to let anyone know that? It's not a badge. There was nothing courageous about it. It was all, it was the luck of the draw. It taught me some great lessons. It means that I'm just a player in the game. I don't deal the cards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, some great lessons. But I mean, if it didn't happen in Nuremberg, Germany, I wouldn't be talking about it with you because you wouldn't know. My wife would know, and if it happened in my backyard, she would know, and my family would know, and Dee Dee probably, So. Yeah.
But so, I mean, like you say, you have that. When you say you learn lessons from it, the two things that have happened to you, there's going to be a certain amount of, do you know what? I'm not going to go overtly out there and live my life recklessly, but to a certain extent, you say you don't deal the cards. You can go jogging every day, and you can be Mr. Fit, and you can drink the right drinks, and you can have your perfect balanced diet and all the rest of it. But after what you've been through, there's a certain amount of that's going to say, well, I could have done all that, and these things would have happened anyway. When your numbers up, your numbers up.
Yeah.
Is there, has it changed your kind of attitude towards health and fitness at all, or anything like that?
No. It actually never did. I mean, I was always fit. That was never part of the equation. If it changed anything, it probably added the fuck it quotation. You only get so much. You might
I was thinking that, yeah.
It helped me to some degree enjoy more moments as opposed to pining over them. It's waiting for looking forward to the next moment means that you're kind of getting rid of the one that you're in at this particular time, so I think it just gave me a different perspective. It didn't change anything, I mean, I had this issue in Germany, and realized I was going to be okay hours later, and I had a pair of pajama pants on and a white tank top. We call them wife beaters.
Yeah, we do too.
All right, and all these wires hanging out of me. Realizing I'm out of Marlboros. I mean, this is hours afterwards. I'm saying, boy, I'm a lucky bastard, but I better get myself a pack of Reds. So
nice.
I'm walking out of the hospital looking like that. Looking for the local gas station. Did it change me? No. Not even from the instant. It got my thinking to change. I mean, I I remember coming home and hopping on my bike. You know, it wasn't like I'm afraid. It wasn't, I was numb and I could only make left turns. But it took me 2 hours to get fucking home after I got out of the driveway.
Just going around in circles.
But it didn't change, any of that. It's, I added fuck it to it, I mean, who knows what's going to happen. So, I started enjoying things a little bit more. Not really, I didn't want to overthink it and have it become a weighted issue. I had a weighted issue I was dealing with. I wanted something that was fucking light and free and fucking fun. And, I didn't run out and buy fucking 2 grams of cocaine and go nuts. But for sure, I bought a 12-pack of Heinekens and went to a hockey game, and took my wife out to dinner and walked the dog an extra hour that day. So that was the culmination of what the result was. The results to me were positive. I was going to I just lived through a problem. I went right through the fucking thing. I'm on the other side. It's behind me.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of it kind of it made you sort of stop and smell the roses a little bit more.
I suppose so. I suppose. I mean, you see, everybody experiences something, or has a cross, or loses a friend, or loses a parent or a family member. Everybody goes through that, and it's a pause to reflect on not just that person you lost, but yourself, I think, too, and how you're going to live your life and how you're going to celebrate theirs. And I thought to myself, man, I could have been, I could have been one of the dead that somebody was reflecting about, or my wife was reflecting about, but I just reflected about myself, and I said, how I would do this? I would just let's turn this up to 10. If I've been running on 7, let's turn it up to 10, see what happens. And what's happened is that I haven't had a recurrence, and I've had 12 pretty good fucking years of running around the world and playing shows in the UK and getting my first opportunity in Dublin and, maybe some offers in Southeast Asia and places I've never been. My first Australian tours happened and. So I think it's probably the better way for me to look at it. And that's only a personal take. I would never tell somebody else to do it. But, I mean, I like keeping my problems in the mirror. It's kind of cool when you're still there and you can see the problems in the mirror. It's not in front of you. So.
Yeah. And as you said, it's private, personal stuff that you wouldn't have shared with the world if it hadn't impacted on the band.
Right.
And you kind of have to front up at that point, and you have to tell everybody why it's happening. Over the years, do you still have any kind of relationships with ex-members? Do your paths ever cross?
Not the originals. The originals are Bobby and Rat are. It's always a strange situation. We've always been forthright and kind of. The information we give is the information we have, and we've never hidden anything, and these guys are songwriters in the band, but they occasionally get a bug up their butt, and I hear from one of their lawyers, so it kind of kills that social end of, hey, how you doing, so, and I always say, listen,
hey, how you doing, and how's your lawyer doing?
Yeah, we've withheld nothing. I mean, I said, knock yourself out. It's just, I can't go collect your money, or I can't go do these things. Sure, you were a part of this and you were a big part of it, and I'll never say that they weren't. They were huge parts of this, and we were 4 kids that really had I don't even know if we had aspirations for bigger things. We didn't even have a plan. It was just fucking fun, you know. I mean, that was really the idea about it. But some of the other guys I see Canavino or Gant sends me something every now and then. When we do the States, one of our guitar players, Marino, we rent lights from him. I don't see Joe Como very much, but he's very busy. Sid Falk's in touch with me. He just released something. He sent it to me. He's
I saw that come out recently. Actually,
I think he did a Stones cover. He sent it to me before he had made it available to the rest of the world, and said, "Yeah, what do you think?" So I mean, we kind of, go back and forth with text or occasional phone call or email. So yeah, I mean, everybody but the first 2 guys I see in one capacity or another, a few times a year. But and those guys too, I would have no problem talking with them. I don't want to get into that whole thing, or give any of it credibility. I've been doing this for a long fucking time. I'm pretty easy to find. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not like if you really have something to say to me, it's not hard to say it. You know, it's I'm accessible. So that's kind of my take on that. I just you know, and maybe one of these days we'll have a big old Overkill barbecue or something. Get all the members.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Hundreds of them with their kids.
Take it in turns. Everybody playing different instruments, and that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Obviously, you know, I mean, you guys have you've been mentioned as like there's the big four, and then everyone usually says if there was a big five or a big 5 or 6, it would be you guys, and Exodus would be like tacked on the end there.
Yeah.
And whenever you see like people saying, "Oh, my alternative big four," you guys are always in there. And it's kind of like have you thought about at all maybe having a kind of like, you know, the next big four, like you guys, Exodus, Testament, all going out together, maybe
a little four, yeah.
I didn't really want to say that.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, I was doing it. You know, I've been posed this question before, and my answer is,
really?
I love doing this. Who? The big who?
Yeah. Really?
They sell that much.
Megadeth have still got a deal? What?
Oh shit! I don't know. I mean, Testament's a great band. They sold a lot of records. I think they've sold more records than us. I mean, their last release is qualified, valuable release in the current day. The Exodus guys have done some great work. You know, would they deserve it too? Sure, I guess. You know, I really don't try to concern myself with it. I mean, it's you know, you get posed the question too, but I think it's kind of against my principles and values to, you know, to think what ifs. As opposed to enjoying the what are's. You know?
It's what you have, not what could be.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact, I suppose it's flattering that the question comes up. You know, I mean, that's kind of cool. But I never really pine over it. You know, I think the greatest experience I had with this Big Four thing was there's a show in. Creator could be in there too. I mean, that's that's a band that's had some serious impact. There's a show in the States called That Metal Show. I'm sure you're familiar with it. Eddie Trunk's a good friend of ours, and there's 2 comedians, Jameson and Jim Florentine, are the other 2 hosts, and they had Phil Anselmo on there, and they were having this discussion about who would be the next. And while they were discussing it, they were each picking who they think should be the next. And I think it was Florentine and Ed Trunk said it should be Overkill. And Salmo and Don Jameson said it should be Exodus. And Ed Trunk said to Salmo, "Come on. Hands down, Bobby Blitz is the best singer in fucking thrash." Most energetic, he said. That's what he said. No, he didn't say best singer, he said best frontman. He said, he's the best frontman in thrash. Hands down. And looks like somebody hit Anselmo on the side of the head with a bat. How could you say that? I'm sitting right here. I'm watching it with my wife. I fell out of the chair laughing so fucking hard, man.
Brilliant. Although I never thought of Pantera as a thrash band. You know, I mean, they were kind of like
they followed that. They had their own identity. I don't think.
Well, it was that kind of groove metal thing that evolved into new metal and all sorts of stuff like that.
And elements of thrash, obviously, but not a thrash band, that's for sure.
Yeah. So when you've got the new album's going to be kind of rolling around, is that going to be this year? You think it's going to be? Out this year?
I can tell you this because I set this up. It was it's the 18th of July. It's
cool.
It's a street date for UK.
And, cool.
The rest of Europe, 18th of July. US is somewhere around there. It's either 2 days before or 2 days after. It's a shipping issue that they always have.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably the 18th in the US or the 16th. So, but for sure, the European is the 18th.
So for you, downloads, CDs, vinyl. What does Bobby listen to at home?
Yeah, I listen to downloads now. You know, it's I've embraced the modern world when it comes to the technology of the WAV file and the iPod. It's just simpler, I suppose. When I get real interested, then after I've I've been exposed to something, I go back and look for the artwork. You know, that type of a thing. You know, I got you know, a lot of the stuff I just get from people. You know, whether they're in the business. I mean, all the metal I get is pretty much just shows up at my house, which is kind of nice. But I like other stuff too. I mean, like I like some jazzy stuff, and I like some big band stuff, and I like some real classic rock singers. I mean, I'm a big Rod Stewart fan. I love just about anything the fucking guy does. I just love the how can a guy sing until this fucking age and not change one bit and still sound as good as he sounded when he was in the Faces? You know, I mean, it just amazes me. But it's
that's inspirational.
And that's the stuff I buy, or I download to buy. And, you know, maybe go back to somewhere and find the credits somewhere and you know. But I do more of the download now. It's just simpler, and it's the way we work when we're doing the record, you know. I mean, it's the beauty of the modern age is that, you know, the idea I have, you know, you and I play in a band, and, you know, you're in the UK and I'm in New Jersey, and my idea comes up, and I want Howard to know that idea. You could know it minutes after I have recorded it.
Yeah.
You know, and say, dude, I want to run this by you. You know, check this out. And that's, I mean, that's priceless, because I remember the old days, and I just answered a question with regard to analog versus digital, and, you know, and you had to work on things, and it was really different. And, you know, I relish those days because I learned how to play while the tape was rolling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't learn how to be corrected while, you know, the Pro Tools were running.
Yeah.
So I had to learn how to play, you know, or learn how to sing. I had to do it correctly.
Yeah.
And that's something I relish, but I also relish the fact that I can get you that information instantly and say, hey, dude, you know, I like the idea, but I've heard this before. Like, oh, shit. You know, because that happens, right?
Yeah,
and it's
like,
you're like, oh, fuck. You know, that's a... Oh my God, that's an acid rain chord.
Plagiarized something that you've heard years ago, and it's just it's stuck deep in there. And
so I'm a student of both. You know, obviously learned in the old school, but have embraced the digital age when it comes to my personal life and my professional life. So.
Yeah, cool. What do you and you know? I personal wise, what do you do when you're off the road? When you just hanging around, just family guy?
Well, I have a couple of businesses. I own with my wife. We have a storefront we do imported chocolates.
Oh, gorgeous!
In a really nice town. It's only about 30 minutes from Manhattan. It's a really artsy kind of bohemian place with, like, you know, barefoot guitar players and movie stars. They have the poor and the ultra rich, right on the Hudson River. So it's a beautiful, picturesque place.
Sounds idyllic.
Nyack, New York. Really, really nice. And we have a storefront there. We'll be celebrating our 10th year in October.
Awesome.
We don't tour for a while, but it really was becoming too much of a hassle with, you know, it's really a mom and pop business.
Yeah.
But she really runs it. I take care of the Overkill stuff. I take care of her behind the scenes stuff, whether it be advertising and some of her orders, or something as simple as, hey, I need the front of the store painted. Aren't you the guy in Overkill? I got a great story. I was like, I play the because it's a chocolate shop. I play the Easter Bunny for her every year since it's open. I got this great big Easter costume, right? And it's bunny thing, and the face, it's a big face that sits on my chest, and I have a big purple hat on, and I can look through a little flower on the top of the hat, right?
Right, yeah.
And I give out chocolates to the kids. It's 2 weeks before the Easter on a Saturday, 2 weeks before, I hand out chocolates to the kids. I never say a fucking word to them. I just stand there and I dangle the thing, and they take pictures with me. And it's fun. Family business, right?
Yeah.
In any case, a guy about your age comes walking by, he's looking, he's pointing his finger, right? And I'm thinking he's drunk or he's stoned or something. Fucking Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
So I pay no attention to him, right? And I go about my business. About 30 minutes later, he comes back, he's still laughing, right? He walks up to the flower in the hat, he goes, let me tell you, fucking Ironbound was a killer record. I'm like, oh my God! Jesus! I open the door. I'm like, Annette, I'm done with this.
That's insane.
He recognized me right through the fucking thing. Well, he may have known I owned the shop. I mean, I've cross-marketed it before. So.
Yeah. But that's awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, that's fun. I mean, that's family business, and I mean, you got to do that stuff. This is. I'm so happy she's a Dutch immigrant to the States. And I'm so happy that she's created a successful business. You know?
Yeah. Well, it's tough. Right? Yeah, it's tough times.
It's a niche market, though. I mean, that's the beauty of it. It's not like you're dealing with commodities. You're not, I'm not trying to sell you a bottle of spring water for less money than you're trying to sell me, for instance, where we're going back and fighting. You have something that whether people want, if they want it, they're going to go get it.
Yeah, and you build up that core, like a band. You build up that core following
very much,
and they'll listen to you. You get new stuff in. You say, look, try it. Just try it.
Listen, man, a Dutch girl selling Belgian chocolates is there. I said, Annette, there's no better winning combination in a high-end town. I said, you're going to be okay, honey.
Yeah.
And she's done very well, and it's something we're both very proud of. It's it's that whole American dream thing. It's why people came to the States originally, was to be able to do things that were their dreams, to be able to make them come true on a level. And this is a person from another country who's now speaking a second language and trying to make a business happen there, and has done it. And I think that there's a great testimony in that. And I own a mailing company. I'm kind of a silent person in that, so when I'm off the road, I mean, I got shit to do. It's not like.
Well, you don't surprise me as the kind of guy you don't strike me as the kind of guy who's going to go home and go, yeah, right, I'm going to put my feet up for 6 months now.
No, don't happen. No.
Yeah, that's not going to happen, is it?
No, I have. On a personal level, I like motorcycles. We love traveling. We love doing home renovations. I mean,
cool.
She's the one that's more the inspiration. She always asks me. She goes, "Well, how come you don't have a list of renovations?" I said, "Let me tell you something. If I added my list to your list, I said there would be no Overkill. There'd be no chocolate shop there. Well, just do your list, and I'll help.
Right. Yeah.
But we like doing that. I mean, we just we'll hire a contractor, but we'll do the finishing touches on the kitchen, put all the cabinets in, all the tiling. Like the minor plumbing and demo and stuff. I mean, we love doing that kind of stuff. Motorcycles, dog.
So with these properties, are you like buying properties, working
them
and
we
then
do,
moving them
we
on?
do primarily our own house.
Right. Okay.
I constantly have redone our own house. We have just a small ski chalet kind of a thing. Wide open. 22-foot ceilings and lofts and. Redone flooring, put flooring in, decks, done 2 bathrooms, kitchen. I mean, it's almost done. We may have to move somewhere else just to keep it going.
Because you've got to have that next project.
It's got to be something going on. I mean, there's got to be sandpaper or sawdust around and it's just kind of a hobby. It's not something we just both enjoy doing it.
So. But you lived in one house, but by the sounds of it, it's effectively about 3 or 4 houses.
Yes.
It's been through several incarnations.
Evolved at least twice.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yes,
okay.
At least twice.
Themed? Are these like themed change? Have you done like ski lodge and then kind of like?
I suppose to some degree. I like collecting art.
Me
so
too.
We kind of like. I have some really cool vases and sculptures. I have some great metal art. I have. I have great reproductions of 7 Deadly Sins.
Awesome.
College of Oxford. They're almost done in a caricature form, but they're fucking killer. And I have what's called lava vases that after the Nazis were outed, the German people were cleaning Berlin. Some guy came up with this idea of taking the rubble to the bomb factories that had survived and making vases in the bomb molds.
Wow.
And they're fucking killer. Looks
that
like 2 fucking Luftwaffe bombs sitting on my... But they're like orange and black. I mean, they're really beautifully painted, and glazed vases. But that's the original lava vase comes from the Nazi bomb molds.
That's insane. That's insane. Well, my mother and father were antique dealers. I mean, my mother's been an antique dealer for 50 years.
Oh, so you know a little about this.
So I grew up surrounded by stuff that if you break it, you're fucked. You can't just go out like other kids would break things at home and like they go out and just buy a replacement. I break something and it's like, well, that's fucked then. Never going to see another one. Never seen one of those,
Breaking, you bought it.
Howard.
that sounds awesome.
So I mean, if we theme anything, we always try to make sure our art kind of fits in the think of it, the thought of the whole thing. So.
It's got a Second World War based art.
A little bit. I mean, I have the Elegant Lady. Do you know the Elegant Lady from? She's the Mexican and Colombian woman. It was done like in the early 1900s. It's the skeleton that's dressed in beautiful gowns. You see a lot of it made out of paper mache.
Is it kind of like the sort of Day of the Dead thing?
Day of the Dead thing, right? It's a Day of the Dead. It evolved into that. It was actually in the early 1900s. It was a caricature that showed up in a Mexican newspaper that depicted the rich stepping on the bodies of the dead in Mexico, and it became something from there, and then it evolved into the Day of the Dead thing. Right. So yeah, but I have a really nice sculpture of her that's done in clay, all done in local clays. I think it stands 2 feet high.
And I the thing about art as well is that when you see it, it's just how much it's a real clear feeling, isn't it? It's just something that you can't explain it, but it just strikes a chord with you, and it's like, can I find out how much that is, please? Yeah,
that's even with the bomb molds. I didn't know there were bomb molds before I bought them. I just liked them. Yeah. I was like, wow, I love these. Look at the shapes of these. They're awesome. They're just unbelievable. They're just striking. That kind of a thing. And before I had bought them, the guy explained to me what they were, and I was like, now I gotta have them.
Totally. It's like, well, this was meant to be. Yeah. But it's weird as well because when people don't collect art. I mean, I've got something. People come around and say, so how much was it? What's it worth? That's always the default question as regards that. And it's like, look, do you know what? I love seeing that on my wall. I love that hanging on my wall.
Yeah.
If it ever triples, quadruples in value, then great, whatever. But I haven't bought it to hang an investment on my wall. I want to enjoy it.
It was never my motivation either. Yeah, it was never my motivation. It had to make my eyes pop up. That was really the basis of it. I couldn't invest in art. I don't have that kind of cash. You know what I mean? I just bought things that are artistic to me. So it's just things I like looking at and like being surrounded by, as opposed to And we have a really old. It's an old brick maker from my wife's family, and it's the old wooden brick molds, that they would build the houses with in the Netherlands. Probably very similar to what you'd find here in the UK. Mm-hmm. It's just an old wooden brick mold with with metal around the outsides, and we redid it to period, and it's like this awesome big massive thing hanging on a wall. It's just a cool thing, Yeah. So what's it worth? Geez, I don't know. $50. I have no idea, what'd you pay for? We didn't pay anything for it. It was in, her mom's attic. We just like it. What I mean? That's the idea.
But also, like, good art, like you say about the bomb molds and about that, there's always a story. There's always a story behind it. There's always something like that. I mean, I know an artist, Laurie Lipton, who does amazing pencil drawings. She's very famous now. She has exhibitions all over the place, but I first saw her stuff probably about 25 years ago, something like that, and it's incredible. It's really fine detail pencil drawings. Everything she does is in pencil. If you get a chance to Google or
Laurie Lipton.
Laurie Lipton, it's the kind of name that sticks in the mind.
Yeah, it does.
And she's amazing. And my girlfriend at the time, a few years ago, bought me her latest book, and I was like, oh, that's really nice, thank you very much. And I opened it up, and there was this little personal message from Laurie Lipton to me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it was addressed to me, and and obviously my girlfriend had told her the first work of hers I'd seen, and that struck a chord with her because that was her first ever exhibition, and it was in the UK, not in the States where she's from. And it was, and she just wrote this lovely piece, and it's like that.
that's my favourite page of the book. I mean, there's some incredible art in that book, but that's my favourite page because it's speaking directly to me.
Well, I mean, is it art personal anyway? And you've actually reached the artist, or she's reached you. So
and it was like we were sharing this moment through the book, that we were sharing this moment of me having seen her art and her being really proud of it and being this young artist, and it was just like it was beautiful. And it's the first time I remember seeing art in the flesh and going like, wow, that's just fucking amazing.
Yeah.
She did. She had 2 full size, when I say full size, man size stone statues, but they were round face, so the face was completely round. There was no features, and the hands were just like little spades and stuff like that. And they were facing each other, and they were just sort of posed like this, and they were painted with enamel, but they were painted as if it was a I'm trying to think what the word is, as if it was the heated areas of the body.
Oh, okay.
So it was like a heat signature.
Yeah, sure.
Oh man, it was just
awesome, man.
Unbelievable, because you could walk around and you could walk between them, and it was just like, God, as a kid, I wanted to own a house so I could buy stuff like that and put it in.
Not to live in the house.
Yeah.
Keep
that's
cool shit there.
Yeah, exactly. Invite people over, look at the cool shit, and then leave again.
Yeah, have a beer, man. Let's look at the cool shit.
Yeah. It was amazing. It was just amazing. But sorry, you.
Can I tell you the truth?
Do you need this man?
No,
I'll just tell you the truth, honestly.
Yeah.
I want to hear him laugh.
Well, we've been doing quite a lot of that, actually.
I know,
Yeah.
I hear when I walk.
There's a YouTube. I think it's called
the greatest YouTube video of all time.
It was sent to me.
The Happiest Heavy Metal Singer.
Yeah.
Seriously, I have that on my bookmark on my laptop, and every so often when I'm done talking to him, he doesn't laugh. I hit it and I listen to it.
Let me tell you why he does this, because he's a fucking manic depressive. We've got him off the medication, and he's found something to replace it. It's my laugh.
I do get depressed. I do have certain mood fits that just fucks with me.
Oh, I think we all do to a certain extent.
Not him.
But this.
By
see
the way,
what I'm saying from before in the interview? It's just about grabbing the moment.
Yeah.
He lives in Alaska.
We've been joined by Overkill's manager, by the way.
He lives in Alaska, in the snow-ridden North Pole.
That's not what he's told me.
He laughs about it. It's freezing.
I'm in New Jersey. He calls it Alaska, but we got.
Right. Okay, I see.
Snow this high.
We got so whacked this year, and he'd be out in California telling me something like, "Oh, we never get tired of shoveling sunshine."
Out in Thailand, it's like 98 degrees. He's telling me it's like.
And you know what Bill Hicks would say to that? What are you, a fucking lizard? Hot and sunny. It's like.
I just wanted to hear the laugh.
Yeah, you got it.
You got it.
Man.
It's good. I'm listening, but I keep walking by, and it is fucking boring here. This place is about as exciting as a fucking
We'll go out to dinner a couple minutes.
I gotta go out with Mark Palmer from the label. You should actually come along.
Mark Palmer. Now there's a connection. Mark Palmer. I've got a rejection letter written by Mark Palmer when he used to work at Music for Nations before he moved to Roadrunner.
Let me tell you something.
He turned my band down.
He is the greatest asset to Nuclear Blast in this new acquisition that they did.
Yeah.
Taking all the ex-Roadrunner guys. He's the best of them all.
Yeah.
Better than Monty. You know why? Because he is like.
You're gonna be on. You're gonna be on the podcast.
Yeah, well, you're gonna because I don't edit this.
Just so you know.
Yeah. Mark, if you want to get your lawyer involved,
he's been handed because the UK was never a strong blast market.
Yeah.
He's been given this clay to mold out the UK. America has been set already. The guy just came in to add to it, but Mark's taking it completely, practically uncharted territory, and he's creating careers, and he's got some real product to go along with it. It's very exciting, and he's actually probably, for his age, being in his early 60s looking, he's really into the music.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that.
He really wasn't into
I think you picked that up very
my
well
band.
with that microphone on.
Yeah, definitely.
No, it's really true though. I'm sure you'll edit this out, but I'm just saying.
No, I don't believe in editing out. This is lovely.
No,
These are spontaneous moments, you know. Which comes back to what we've been talking about a lot as well. It's like these are the cool bits. These are the bits where a podcast should sound like people listening to this should feel like they're eavesdropping on a conversation. Do you know what I mean? And this is it's cool.
We'd let this thing go all night. We'll have chicks in here. Everything. It's gonna be
it'll
be like a party going on.
No. I know one thing about this. There will be not a single girl anywhere near here, unfortunately. Overkill is not a dressing room where there's women. The only women that are there are the wives and the teenage daughters that are with the wives. There's like no kid. There's no girls running around.
I was doing this interview in Scandinavia, and it showed up on YouTube. And it was I was doing them on the bus out in front of Travista in Helsinki, and it was an American guy. And we were sitting on the bus like this, and we were talking, camera talk. And somebody knocked on the door, and I let them in, and it was a couple of girls, and they were the next interview. And I said, "Come on." Oh no, well wait, we're doing an interview, and all this showed up on the interview. And I go, "Hey, don't worry about it. We don't bite." Right? That's what I said, right? And I watched the interview on YouTube, and the first comment under it goes, "God, I love those old dogs. We don't bite."
That's cool, man.
Dolores needs me for something?
No, well, it's just been one of those nights.
Okay, well, so I think we can. We've talked a lot of bollocks,
yeah,
man.
It was a pleasure.
Absolute
All right,
fantastic.
Howard.
Lovely to see you, man.
Yeah,
Lovely
man.
to see you. Take care.
Fun time? Let me see what they need me for.
So there you have it. There was my interview with Bobby Blitz Ellsworth, the thrash icon. That was just a funny way to start, and he's just such an engaging guy, and just such a refreshing kind of presence to be around. He's just he is a man who found what he was put on this face of this earth to do many, many years ago, and he just keeps on doing it. The show was excellent. I'm sure the new album's going to be superb. The title's out now. I wish I could have got that, but never mind. And to be honest, the crew around him, as you heard, talking to the manager and stuff like that, everybody who's involved with the band and everything is just, and everybody who surrounds them, everybody who's just really, really cool. It was a really, really nice place to be, and I really, really had a great time, and it was wonderful. I mean, that was about 50 minutes in his company there, and it was just top stuff. Really, really top guy. So well, there you have it. I mean, before anyone thinks of switching off, by the way, there is as usual, I'm going to be finishing with a song, so hang in for that. But I mean, not me personally. I'm not going to fucking start singing My Way or something. But a band. But yeah, just want to sum up and say, look, thank you very much. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll probably say it on every podcast. But I really, really do appreciate every single one of you that listens, that downloads, that subscribes. Really do. I really do. It's an honour. I'm not going to kid you. It's an honour. I'm welling up here. I'm welling up. Yeah, I'm not really. But look, I'm seriously. It is very cool. Because I listen to podcasts like this, right? And to be doing one myself is fucking awesome. It's so cool. In fact, check this shit out, right? When I was at the Academy gig, I'd done the soil work and the Overkill interviews, and I was starving. I went to McDonald's. Not going to apologise for it, by the way. I like McDonald's. If you've got some sort of corporate hang-up, fuck you, whatever. Right? I went to McDonald's. I had my laptop out and I had my headphones, and I was just like checking the interviews had gone okay in case I had to go back and do some other bits and stuff. But anyway, so I went and got my burger and something, and as I was walking back to the table where I was at, I'm sure I heard the word podcast. I thought, no. And then it turns out I did, and this guy came over and just said, by the way, really loving the podcast, looking forward to the next one. I was like, oh, thank you so much, that is really, really cool. And it wasn't it wasn't until he sort of moved away, and I was kind of sat there thinking, and I was thinking, right, okay, so I was in the music business for about 10 years. Put out 4 albums, toured all over the world. I've done stand-up comedy for 15 years, all over the world. And here I am. I've done 2 podcasts, and I'm getting I'm getting recognised for the podcast. That's insane. So thank you to John Wigg, who was that person who then got in touch with me through the Acid Rain Facebook page and offered encouragement. So that was really kind. It was really appreciated. It was very, very nice. So anyway, yeah. To get back to the point is that I really appreciate every single one of you. Please write in. Tell me what you think to the podcast. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Bands, all that shit. Get in touch. Go to allabouttherock.co.uk. Check out the website. It's very, very cool. And just interact with us. And to be honest, probably not gonna offer any more sort of prizes and shit like that. Because I really do think that you guys out there are just too cool for school. It's like, fuck that. I can't be bothered. And now that's absolutely fine. I'm down with that, bro. I'm down with that. So it's less hassle, frankly. Don't have to find shit to fucking send to people. Oh, and that's something else actually. While I remember, how professional is this? Oh yeah, I remember. Owen Fitzgerald. Does anybody know Owen Fitzgerald? He has, he emailed in with all those show name ideas and everything last time and said, look, email in and we'll, give you a prize or something like that. Nothing. Emailed the guy and everything. So Owen Fitzgerald, I'm putting the call out. Where, what the fuck happened, dude? I just realised how that was completely and totally pointless, because if he hasn't replied to his email, and if he did, he'd know from listening to the second podcast that had happened. So why would he listen to the third podcast before the second one and without checking his email? So there you go. Sorry to waste your time, everybody. That was just me being a dick. But there you go. Shit happens. That's it, I think. I think we're just on to the final song now. I hope you all enjoyed Darkness at the end of the last episode. I know quite a few people did. And please remember, if you send in your tunes, bands, and again, I keep coming back to all of the bands who submitted your songs. You are going to get, you are going to get played eventually. I'll try and get to every one of you. I promise. I just did promise, didn't I? Fuck, I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, I will try and get to everybody. But these guys had a very good idea, and the guys I'm going to play to you today, today, on this podcast, today, like you're listening to this today. I'm actually, by the way, I'm recording this on the 19th of March. So if anything in the world of metal happens between now and you wonder why it's not on the podcast, that's why. Because I haven't learned how to travel through time yet. But anyway, I'm going to play you a track by a band called XIII. Interesting, you say? Yeah, well, they've got an album out, they've got an EP out, and that's right, folks, it's a CD. They had a very good idea. They found out from somebody they know, who somebody knows, who somebody knows, who knows me, and this CD winged its way through several pair of hands to me. We all know how much I like CDs, so they pretty much fucking blew everybody out the water. Which I asked for you all to email in, and that's fine, and send your MP3s, and you will get played and all that. I promise that. I said promise again. Not bad. So yeah, these guys had a brilliant idea. They got me a CD, and it's pretty darn cool. Now, I'm going to give you the website. Their website is musicbyxii.com. Facebook, facebook.com/musicbyxii, twitter.com/musicbyxii, youtube.com/musicbyxii, and you can email xii-music@hotmail.com. So, this is from the EP, which is Deeds of the Saints. And Deeds of the Saints, chapters 1 to 5. Just counting on my fingers there. Chapters 1 to 5. And this is chapter 3 I'm going to play. Before I play it, just want to say thanks to you all for listening. Really do mean it. Not going to go on, but seriously, thank you a lot. And finishing off this month's episode, and don't forget all that cool shit I told you about at the top. April's going to be a rocking month, and some other things in the pipeline as well. So, you know, May, June, July, August, it's all happening. Although one interview I really wanted to get, I'm hanging out for an email back from the PR company, and we're hoping that we've got enough subscriptions that'll convince them to do this, and also a lot of live plays. It's great if you go to the website and you play it, fine, but if you've got an app, please download it as well, because we need subscribers. And if you subscribe through iTunes, please rate us, leave some comments, positive or negative. Don't mind, slag me off, absolutely fine. But, you know, feedback's feedback. I'd rather leave an impression than no impression at all. So, please do all that. And, you know, the more subscribers, more views, more listens, bigger, better people that we can get on here. And it's just going to be awesome. I just feel like this is something that's the beginning of something that's really, it's going to be big and very cool. And, oh my fucking God, that's taken us up to an hour and 35 minutes. Fucking hell! Why can't we charge for this? Anyway, probably because podcasts are free. That's why, Howard. You know, maybe you might know somebody who wants us to do some advertising. Anyway, forget it. I was just messing about. So XII from Hull, and what can I tell you? Really like it. Definitely worth a listen. This is how we're going out. This month, I'm going out with track 3 from the Deeds of the Saints album, EP. And this is called Acta Sanctorum.
Launch fires will burn.